To introduce the AMWU National Secretary of the Vehicle Division, Ian Jones. Give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, John. And thank you, Michael. It's great to have all of the Labor state premiers behind the trade union movement in opposition to these bad laws. All of you by now would have seen that there have been something like about 700 pages of anti-worker legislation introduced into the Parliament. With the cat's out of the bag now, we've seen it, and one thing that is demonstrated is that Howard is the biggest lying bastard that this nation has ever seen. For years about little Johnny's battlers. All the while whilst he's speaking about little Johnny's battlers in the most patronising way, John Howard's out there planning and scheming to place their families into poverty by stripping away their conditions and stripping away the conditions of their families. Let's have a look at some facts about this legislation. He said, in the context of unfair dismissal, that the unfair dismissal laws would be limited to those workplaces, small and medium, with under 100 employees. Not one suggestion was ever said or presented to the Parliament as to why that would be good for the Australian economy. Nobody has demonstrated why sacking people is going to create more wealth and create more employment in this country. Quite the reverse, we would have thought. But the reality is he hasn't even done that, demonstrating that he is a lying bastard. What he has done, he has broadened the scope for dismissal to provide that anyone, large or small, can be dismissed on the basis of organisational or technological grounds. Now let me tell you what that means in the car industry. In the car industry, everything operates around technology and organisation. Work organisation, the whole production system, the Mitsubishi production system, all organisational models that could have a person terminated on the basis of continuous improvement. That is a scope not paralleled before in this country, and it takes away job security from every Australian worker. He said that no worker would be forced or could be forced onto individual contracts. In fact, that was a rare moment of truth under the existing legislation. No worker could be sold into an individual contract under the current legislation. But under the new legislation, they have eliminated that. They have eliminated that safeguard, and now it's quite correct under this legislation for an employer, whether you've got in the car industry like we have, agreements that go for 3 or 4 years, and you're in the middle of it. Under this legislation, the employer can take you out of that certified agreement and place you onto an individual contract. And if Howard thinks otherwise, he ought to read his own legislation. Not only did they do that, but they have taken away the powers of enforceability from the Industrial Relations Commission, and as a consequence, they have taken away the powers of enforceability. Thank you, John. They have taken away the powers of enforceability from unions and their members in respect to their agreements. Now, under this legislation, it is only the employer that has the power to enforce the agreement. So you can be in the middle of your agreement and the employer can come to you and say, I don't like this provision, I think this is not suitable for me as an employer, even though I negotiated and had it certified under the existing laws in good faith. The employer can come to you and say, I'm simply not going to pay it. And in terms of our enforceability, it's been stripped away from us. However, we can always fall back on industrial action and mobilise around it. Except the government has now introduced legislation that says that should a worker want to enforce their agreement, they can be fined $33,000. Should the union continue to want to pursue enforcement of their legal Australia, in a land that we grew up with our parents fought for about these ideals, in a democratic nation such as this, that you can go to jail for enforcing your legally enforceable entitlements under existing legislation. Now let's have a look at the track record of this government. The deceit, the deception and the betrayal of the Australian public by this Prime Minister. Firstly, there was lie number one. He lied about children overboard scandal. He lied about the justification for the IRF war. He lied about changes to the pharmaceutical benefit scheme. He lied about the rock-solid guarantee on Medicover, and the ultimate deceit and the ultimate betrayal of Australian people is the 700 pages of diatribe that he had placed before the Australian Parliament. Now, let me give you a few quotes, just so you understand the quality of the Prime Minister and the ministers that we have. John Howard said on the issue of truth, bit of an oxymoron when you're talking about that. He said that we want to assert the very principle that truth is absolute. Truth is supreme and truth is never disposable in national political life. John Howard said that, and every day since he made the statement he has spent every minute demonstrating what a lying bastard he is. Because this legislation was not foreshadowed to the Australian public prior to the last election, otherwise he wouldn't be there. This coward has deceived and betrayed Australia again, and he will do it again and again and again. On the issue of wages, he said, I've never believed in lower wages. He then qualifies it by saying, I've never believed in lower wages as an economic instrument. Well, the reality is quite the reverse, because why would it be that he would be stripping away penalty rates, overtime rates, rights to career-based classification structures, all sorts of things that are currently the promise of your rewards and your agreements that under this legislation go out the door. And in terms of the government, they say, well, we're not actually getting rid of them. This is the pea and thimble trick that they go on with. We're not exactly getting rid of them. You can trade them away to your employer. You can suffer the death of 1,000 cuts. If that wasn't bad enough, when the legislation actually did come out, there is no protection. Even that was a lie. There is no requirement for the employer to compensate workers for those conditions that they're going to steal under this legislation. And have a look at Minister Andrews, because this man's track record is better than all of the fascists that he had before him. He says that on the minimum wage, he will not give a guarantee to the trade union movement that the minimum wage would not fall. He said that his government is not in the business of giving guarantees to anyone about their life and their families. This man is an absolute disgrace. And on the issue of fairness, he says that an emphasis upon fairness only leads to excess and inefficiency. Like decency and fairness in our community, the very values that our parents instilled in us, decency and fairness are discardable political accessories under this legislation. Well, we will not accept that. We will not accept it as unions, and this meeting here today is a grand demonstration that workers will unite shoulder to shoulder in opposition to fascist legislation, and we will not allow our families to be thrust under the strap of Israel.